Dear students, welcome to the next chapter in Business Studies, Sources of Business Finance. Sources of Business Finance. Already we have learned lot of concept regarding business. Here in this area, we are going to learn more about how business firm can collect funds. Business firm can collect funds. So you know very well, finance is the lifeblood of business. Without any financial support, no one can survive. So finance is necessary for the starting, the growth, maintenance of all aspects in business. So finding a suitable source is the best and important task in the top management. So, why the finance is needed? Nature and significance of business finance. Every time the finance is required for the purchase of land, building, plant, machinery, etc. And finance is required towards the cost of inventories, especially for purchasing raw materials. And every time when the company is formed, at that time also they have to keep initial investment. And after that, when they want to raise more fund, that time also finance is needed. Purchasing of trademark, goodwill, patent, etc. or these type of intangible assets can be purchased only through cash. Also, for the running expenses of business, to meet the day-to-day expenses of the business also, finance is needed. Remember, normally for meeting all these activities, finance is needed. We can collect finance in three forms, that is for long term, short term and medium term. Long term, short term and medium term. Long-term funds are collected for more than 5 years for meeting lot of long-term activities, especially for the purchase of fixed asset. Short-term finance is needed mainly normally for 1 year to meet the day-to-day expenses of the firm as working capital. Long-term finance is collected in the form of fixed capital. Medium-term funds are needed between a period of 1 to 5, especially for modernization, some expansion of business. So, business people collect funds in three different forms, long term, short term, and medium term. And how we can collect the fund? What is the source? Generally, two sources are there, owner's fund and borrowed fund. Owner's fund and borrowed fund. Remember, owner's fund means the amount brought by the businessman or the amount of profit kept back in the organization. It has some merits and demerits. Every time, owner's fund provides risk capital. Whenever there is emergency, they can collect, business people can collect the fund very easily without any risk. It provides permanent capital source, a permanent source of capital given by the owner's fund or owner's capital. It provides the right to manage and control the business for those who are investing in the business. So these are the some merits. Also, owners fund have some limitations, especially in joint stock company. Though a large amount of capital can be raised by issue of shares to the public, but there is a possibility the power of control of original investors over management will get reduced. Sometimes there is a possibility of change in ownership. Then owner's capital is not refundable except in liquidation. So only after liquidation of the company, owner's fund is liquidated. it is given back. Then finding additional capital is often difficult in the case of bonus fund. So a lot of difficulties are there, limitations are there. Remember, one source is owners fund or ownership capital, the amount brought by the owners. And the next one is borrowed fund or loan capital. The amount collected from outsiders is known as borrowed fund. It has some merits. It does not affect the owner's control in management. When the company is borrowing, there will be low possibility of change in ownership, and interest deducted before arriving at profit reduces liability of the firm. The interest reduced before arriving at profit reduces the liability of the firm. So whenever there is profit, it has to reduce the liability of the firm. Then huge profits are made, the interest paid is fixed, hence a higher return to the owners. If the interest is paid a fixed rate and a huge amount of profit is there, it will be a benefit for the owners. They can keep more profit in their hand. Then limitations are fixed obligation. Every time, whenever the company collect borrowed fund, they have to pay fixed amount of interest and also the amount of interest to the debenture holders, bank, etc. Then another point is security for this type of loans. Normally, every time companies' assets are given for the mortgage loans or the funds collected from banks and other private parties. So remember, these are the limitations of borrowed capital. So two sources are there, borrowed fund and owners fund. The sources of company finance include issue of share and debenture, public deposit, bank loan, plowing back of profit, and also assistance from specialized financial institution. So from all these sources, the company can collect funds. Remember, the financial requirements are for three different areas or duration, long-term duration, medium-term duration, and short-term duration. And long-term duration, issue of share, issue of debenture, loan from banks, plowing back of profit is important sources. Medium-term sources, issue of preference share, issue of debenture, public deposit, bank loan, and loan from financial institution is approachable on. Short-term financial sources are trade credit from bank, bank credit, bank overdraft, installment credit, customer advances are short-term financial sources. Remember, then the sources of long-term finance include issue of share, issue of debenture, loan from financial institution, plowing back of profit, and public deposit. So from all these areas, we learned what is the importance of funds in organization, capital in the organization, what are the different sources, owners fund and borrowed fund, and what is the duration. On the basis of duration, what type of funds are needed. Long-term funds needed, medium-term funds needed, short-term funds needed, and from what are the different sources the company can collect these type of funds. So remember, we are going to learn in the next video lesson about issue of shares and how the company is collecting the funds and what are the benefits and demerits. Remember all these points. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you. Dear students, the next video lesson from the chapter Sources of Business Finance is issue of shares. Issue of shares. So, issuing share is one of the important source of finance for long-term purpose. So, share means a share in the total share capital of a company. Every company, especially public company, can issue shares to the public by issuing the document known as prospectus. Already we have learned. As per the Companies Act, a share in the share capital of a company and it includes stock also. And the person who is holding share is known as shareholder in the company, means a member of the company. Share capital is one of the important source of fund for raising capital in the organization. Normally, companies are issuing two types of shares, preference share and equity share or ordinary shares. So remember, preference share and equity shares. So preference shares, as the name indicates, these type of shares have some preferential rights in the case of receiving dividend primarily. Before issuing dividend to the equity shares, it will be given for the preference shares, and also the repayment of capital at the time of winding up of the company. When the company is going to wind up, the amount of capital collected from the public shareholders will be given only for preference shares first. So remember, these are the preferential right for the preference shareholders. Due to these features, they are known as preference shareholders. They will get fixed rate of dividend every time before issuing to the ordinary shareholders. And the different types of preference shares include cumulative and non-cumulative preference shares. Cumulative in the sense, suppose in 1 year there is no profit and no possibility to issue dividend. That amount of dividend will be paid in the next year. By adding to the next year's dividend, it will be given to the preference shareholders. These type of different preference shareholders are known as cumulative preference shares. If such right is not there, non-cumulative preference shares. Participating preference shares means if there is additional amount of dividend after issuing to the equity shareholders also, some preference shareholders have right to participate in the extra amount of dividend. So that type of right have to the participating preference shareholders. If there is any extra amount of dividend, they can participate. They will also get a share from that additional remaining amount of dividend. If such right is not there, they are non-participating preference shares. Redeemable preference shares and irredeemable preference shares. Redeemable in the sense repayable. After a stipulated period of time, the amount of preference shareholders are given back. If they are given on the maturity period, that is known as redeemable preference shares. The right is not have for the preference shares. They are known as irredeemable preference shares. So irredeemable preference shares will be given only at the company's loss, as per the company's loss. Then convertible preference shares are those preference shares which can be converted into equity shares, and non-convertible preference shares have no possibility to convert them into equity shares. So remember, and preference shares have a lot of advantages. They will get a rate of return in guaranteed amount. They provide long-term capital to the organization, and management control is not diluted as preference shareholders. They enjoy only restricted voting rights. They have only limited voting rights, and there can be a redeemed if necessary. As per the demand of the shareholder, it will be redeemed. Then mortgage of property not needed to issue such type of shares, no need of pledging any property. Then trading on equity can be adopted since fixed date of dividend is paid. So trading on equity also can be adopted in the case of preference shares. And this method of raising capital is most economical compared to equity, issuing equity shares. So these are the advantages of preference shares. Go again and go through the points and develop your own concept. It also has some limitations. Fixed dividend put a permanent burden on the company. So whenever there is no profit, that amount also company should give in the next year when they will get profit. So it is a burden. Shareholders have no control over management. These type of shareholders have no control over management because equity shareholders are controlling the India activities, and preference shares are more expensive. That is why, because company have to pay fixed dividend every year. Then dividend paid cannot be charged as a business expensive. So every time dividend paid to the preference shareholders cannot be charged as business expensive. So remember all the points. And the next category includes equity or ordinary shares. Equity or ordinary shares. Actually, these type of shareholders, equity shareholders, are controlling the whole organization. They have some preferential, they have not some preferential right, but they have the right of voting in the annual general body meeting. So shares without any preferential right are known as equity shares. They will also get dividend, but not in fixed amount, fixed percentage. Also, different types of equity shares are there: blue chip shares, income shares, growth shares, cyclical shares, defensive shares, speculative shares. Remember, equity shares have some advantage. They have some advantage. No obligation to pay a fixed rate of dividend. Whenever the company is collecting amount of capital by equity shares, have some advantage. No need to pay the fixed rate of dividend, and no mortgage of company's property for the issue of equity share is needed. No need to pledge any property as security for issuing equity shares. And it is a permanent source of capital to be repaid only at the time of winding up of the company. So only at the time of winding up of the company, the amount of equity shares will be repaid. And equity shareholders are the real owners of the company who have voting right in all matters. Whenever there is a decision making, they have the voting right. But preference shareholders do not have such a type of voting right. In case of good profit, equity shareholders gain increased the amount of dividend and appreciation in the value of shares. Fixed rate is given to the preference shareholders. If lot of amount is there as profit, equity shareholders will get bulk amount of dividend. So these are the advantages of equity shareholders. Then we have to learn the limitations also. No advantage of trading on equity is there in equity shares. It is not possible in the case of equity shares, but it is possible in the case of preference shareholders trading on equity. As equity capital cannot be redeemed, there is a danger of overcapitalization. It is not redeemed after maturity. It will be redeemed at the time of winding up. So there is a possibility of overcapitalization, unnecessary amount of capital in the company. Then shareholders can distribute the management by manipulating and organizing themselves. So they can change the management by some manipulating activities. Higher dividends leads to increase in share value and speculation among the stakeholders of business. Higher dividends given to the equity shareholders will increase the share value and speculative activities among the stakeholders of the business, and not attractive to the investors who prefer safety and fixed income. So issuing equity shares is not attractive to the investors who prefer safety and fixed income. So remember, these are the two type of shares. So thank you for watching the video. Thank you. Dear students, welcome to the next video lesson. And we are going through the chapter Sources of Business Finance. And in this video lesson, we are going to learn about the concept debenture and public deposit. Debenture and public deposit. You know very well what is the different sources of business finance. So debenture is also another form of long-term source of business finance. Actually, the debenture is given to the company by creditors. So the debenture holder is known as creditor, and the debenture is a document. It is a financial instrument issued by the company for raising additional finance, debt finance. A debenture may be defined as an instrument in writing issued by a company under its seal and acknowledging a debt. That is why it is known as debt instrument. A debt for a named sum of money and giving an undertaking to repay that sum on or after a fixed future date, and meanwhile to pay interest thereon at a certain rate per annum at stated intervals. So, a debenture is an instrument issued by the company for a certain sum of money, and the amount will be repaid after a particular period of time, and the debenture holder, that document holder, will get certain sum of amount as interest. So the return for debenture holder is interest. The debenture capital is divided into a number of equal parts called debentures. Debenture holders get a fixed rate of interest at fixed intervals. It will be stated in the agreement. So remember, it is a debt instrument issued by the company. And the kinds of debentures include, first one is simple or naked or unsecured debentures. Unsecured or naked or simple debenture, they do not have any security given by the company in the form of asset. And the secured or mortgage debentures, they have security by the company, maybe an asset, and they will get fixed rate of interest. Redeemable debenture, it will be repaid after the specified period of time or the maturity period of time. So, simple, secured, redeemable debenture. Then bearer debenture, debenture issued without the name of the owner is bearer debenture. It is freely transferable. Anyone can transfer from one person to another. Then a registered debenture, the name and address of the registered debenture will be registered as per the Companies Act. And convertible debenture, that can be converted into shares or any other form of debenture. So these are the different types of debentures. Remember the names and what is the difference between each debenture. Advantages of debenture include, debenture holders have no voting rights, no need to manage the company activities. Then, in case of debenture, trading on equity is possible. Already we have learned what is trading on equity. So in this case, debenture can be traded. Means the possibility of trading on equity is there. Then interest on debenture is an allowable expenditure under Income Tax Act. They will get exemption from that. Then debenture can be redeemed at any time when company has surplus fund. It can be redeemed at any time when the company have surplus fund. So these are the advantages of debentures. Certain limitations also they have. Debenture capital raising is costly. Sometimes huge stamp duty the company have to pay for raising debenture. Then common people they cannot buy debenture as they are of high denominations. The face value of debenture will be high. So common people they are not able to purchase the debenture. If the company expects fluctuations in profit, debenture issue is not advisable. If the profit is very low, it is not suitable to issue debenture, because with the profit the company is paying the interest. Then fixed rate of interest is a burden to the company. That is also another disadvantage. So remember the disadvantages. Then what is the concept of retained profit or plowing back of profit? It is another source of owner's fund. Whenever they have enough profit in the hands of the company, they can keep the amount as a reserve. That is retained earnings or plowing back of profit. Creation of reserve by companies out of their profit and using them to meet financial requirement is known as plowing back of profit or internal financing or self-financing. So the plowing back of profit have a lot of merits. Retained profit is more dependable than any other sources of financing. No need of paying more expenses to raise the fund, it is very easy to convert or to take money from their own hand. So it is more dependable. Then no need of paying dividend on reinvested profit. No need to pay the dividend to the shareholders when the company reinvests the profit. No cost involved in raising fund. That means no expense needed to raise fund in the form of retained profit. No security is also needed. Then it avoids super tax to be paid to the company. Then very economical method of financing. Then aids capital formation very easily. It makes companies financially strong. Every time investors will advise these type of methods of raising finance. And so remember all these points of raising finance. It have some limitations also. A retained profit may be misused to manipulate the value of shares. Sometimes the company will misuse when they use the retained profit. The company will misuse to manipulate the value of shares, and the company runs the risk of being converted into monopolistic organization. Sometimes it will be the organization when they will use retained profit, it will be in the form of monopolistic organization. It may result in overcapitalization. Sometimes converting or reinvesting the profit in the company will lead to overcapitalization, unnecessary amount in the capital. It may create dissatisfaction among the shareholders. All are of not same opinion, so there will be different opinion among the shareholders. And it may be used for tax evasion. Sometimes it may be used for tax evasion also. So it may be misused in different way. The retained profit reinvestment is misused in different way. Remember the points. The next source of long-term finance is medium-term finance is public deposit. Public deposit means collecting funds from the public, the common man, by paying some interest. So we can collect these type of funds for from 6 months to 36 months. So remember, public deposit is another source of raising finance given by the company or accepted by the company by paying interest, and normally 6 months duration is the minimum, and 36 months means 3 years is the maximum duration of public deposit. It has some merits. The system of public deposit is very simple, involving no legal formalities. Issuing share is, it involves a lot of legal formalities, but issuing collecting money through public deposit have only limited legal formalities or no legal formalities, and it facilitates payment of higher dividend to shareholders. So every time issuing or collecting funds through public deposit helps the company to pay higher dividend to the shareholders. Then it does not create any charge on the company's asset. No need to pay security in the form of company's asset. So these are all the very important merits, and it have some demerits also. Deposit raising being inexpensive, but companies may do over trading speculative activities. Sometimes there will be a lot of speculative activities related to public deposit. Then investors are deprived of benefits accruing from good securities. The investors sometimes they will never choose these type of methods. Also, if companies do not earn good profit, public deposit turned out to uneconomical. The company is not earning more profit, it will be uneconomical. Okay, thank you. Bye. Dear students, the next lesson from the area sources of business finance include about the topic sources of short-term finance. Up to the area of the last video lesson, we discussed about long-term and medium-term finance. And the short-term sources include a lot of opportunities are there for the business organizations. They can collect trade credit from financial institutions, maybe for a short period, up to 1 year, they can get trade credit. A lot of organizations are providing trade credit, especially by the banks. Also, bank credit is also given by commercial bank, another short-term source of finance. Then advances given by the customers to the companies. Another short-term finance, short-term financial help from finance companies. They will give assets and financial support for the organization. Then installment credit given by the organization. So these are the dependable common form of short-term financial support for the business organization. And the important among them are factoring. Remember the concept factoring. So in factoring, actually they are helping. It is an agency. The service is given by an agency for helping the organization to collect or to convert the book debt into cash. So remember to convert the book debt into cash. So these type of organization helping for that purpose. And factoring is very important in the modern era. Another form of short-term finance is lease financing, providing assets very high assets of having high value at a minimum lease payment. At minimum lease payment. So the business people who are not able to purchase higher valuing assets, they can take it in lease from with the contractual agreement of between the owner of the asset and the user, the lessee. The agreement between the lessor and lessee. It is very much possible to use the asset without purchasing the assets having lakhs and crores of lease financing. And another method is commercial paper. It is a short-term financial instrument issued by the organization up to 3 to 12 months. By issuing this document, commercial banks helps to convert all these instruments into cash. So issuing this paper, the company can raise short-term financial capital. So from this picture, it is very clear how they can raise the fund. This picture explains the procedures for raising finance using commercial paper. And the next one is, lot of financial institutions are there to support the short-term financial instruments and the long-term financial instruments. And it includes Industrial Finance Corporation of India, Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India Limited, Industrial Development Bank of India, the World Farmers Bank, Unit Trust of India, Life Insurance Corporation, National Housing Bank, State Financial Corporations. All these organizations are helping the business people to get sufficient amount of finance. And these type of financial organization, public sector organizations, supports the business people through these ways. They provide medium and long-term financial assistance. They subscribe the debenture issue of that particular company, share issue of that particular company, and also they underwrite the organizations, financial institutions underwrite the issue of shares and debentures of particular company, and provide guarantee to the loan obtained by such companies. Loan in foreign currency will be provided for this type of organization. Also provides guarantee for the purchase of capital goods from foreign countries. So these are the very advanced financial services given by these type of financial organization. And also we have to discuss yet another thing, the internal financing. Internal financing include the different international sources from which the organization can collect funds. And it includes commercial banks, which gives lots of supports for collecting foreign currency for the business enterprise. They are providing different important valuable documents to the companies for raising foreign currency. And international agencies and development banks are there for providing long-term, medium-term, and loans and grants for the economically backward area, business operating in economically backward areas. Very important document is on GDRs. You know about the financial instruments. So GDRs are global depository receipts, and the instrument is issued to do international business at the global level. Actually, these are indirect offerings to the company. The shares are issued not by individual companies but by the overseas depository banks. When we have sufficient amount of money, we can deposit in our bank, depository bank. They will give these type of depository receipts, which can be sold through the international stock exchanges or stock markets. So remember, another way of financial assistance for the international finance. Then American depository receipt, like the same of GDR, but American depository receipts are issued by American overseas bank, and that can be issued only to the American citizen and can be sold through American stock exchanges. One format of American depository receipt. Foreign currency convertible bonds are there. Another source of financial instrument for international finance, foreign currency convertible bonds. These are equity linked debt securities that are to be converted into equity or depository receipts after a specified period of time. The holder has the option to either convert them into equity share at a predetermined price or exchange rate, or that he can retain them. These bonds are issued in a foreign currency and carry a fixed rate of interest. You know very well, bonds are similar to debentures, and these type of instruments are used for raising international finance or foreign currency. Then Indian depository receipt, it is like a GDR and American depository receipt, that the issuer is a foreign company raising funds in Indian market. Issuer is a foreign company for raising funds in Indian market. Indian depository receipts are rupee dominated, not in dollar or any other foreign currency. It is rupee dominated. They can be listed in on any Indian stock exchanges. Through any Indian stock exchange, we can sale or transfer the IDRs, that receipts. And the last one is intercorporate deposits. Another form of financial support, intercorporate deposits. And these are unsecured short-term deposits made by one company with another company. So that is why the term intercorporate. It is a financial assistance between two companies, and these deposits are unsecured. These deposits are essentially brokered deposits, which lead the involvement of brokers. So that means there is an agent known as broker. The rate of interest on these deposits is higher than that of banks and other market. So the rate of interest on these type of deposits is a little bit high than any other type of financial instrument. So remember, all these short-term and international source of raising funds like GDR, ADR, and IDR, etc. So hope all the concepts are very clear. Please go through the video again and again, develop your own concepts. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you. Dear students, the last topic from the area, sources of business finance include the different factors affecting the choices of the sources of funds. So, don't be in a hurry. Whenever we are going to collect the funds, we have to use a proper way of sources of raising funds to the organization. So, after considering lot of factors, we can collect funds. So whenever there is a financial emergency, we have to consider the following factors for raising funds. So remember, the first point is related to the cost of raising funds. So every time there will be a small amount of expense related to raising of finance. Sometimes in case of issue of share, debenture, it will be high. But in case of retained bonus fund, it is very low. So remember, depending upon the cost involved in the procurement of funds, we have to raise finance. So cost of utilizing the fund is very important criteria while we are choosing one source of raising finance. And another one is the financial strength and stability of operation. Financial strength and stability of operation of the company. Suppose the company have a poor financial position, they have to depend more on the borrowed funds instead of owners' funds. No need to issue shares, but they have to raise funds by depending upon bank loan or any other small source. That is another criteria. And the form of organization and legal status of the organization is another criteria we have to give importance while choosing a source of funds. Every time, depending upon the form of organization. Suppose it is a large scale organization, they need lot of funds, so they can depend upon the issue of shares. So three criteria: cost, financial strength of the company, form of organization. And another one is purpose and time period for which the fund is needed. Purpose and time period for which fund is needed. Already we have discussed the fund can be raised through short term, medium term, and a long term sources of business finance. So depend upon it. If we need the fund for short period, we can choose short term sources of finance, and if it is for a long period, we can use more borrowed fund. Also, we can issue shares. Then, a risk profile of the company is another criteria. Risk profile of the source we are going to choose. Every time we have to elect a proper source which have lower level of risk. Suppose we are giving more importance for issuing equity shares, there will be a possibility of changing ownership of the company. So before taking the decision, we have to think about which method, which source is having low risk profile. So remember, if the company chooses issuing more equity share, the there is a possibility of there's a possibility of the other shareholders will collect the remaining shareholders shares, and they will become owners of the company. So there is a possibility of change in ownership. So don't give more importance for issuing that type of shares. You can depend more on the borrowed funds. And control is another factor. The degree of control required over the business is an important factor to be considered while choosing the sources of funds. If you want to share the ownership and control, you can prefer issue of share. If you don't want to share the control and you need more control on the organization, please choose borrowed sources of funds. So remember the points: purpose and time period for which fund needed, risk profile of the different sources of business, and control, the degree of control over the business. And the last points are effective on credit worthiness. So every time we have to choose the source of funds depends upon the credit worthiness. So depends on certain sources of funds, it may affect the credit worthiness of the company. So every time you choose such a method or source of fund which will never lose the credit worthiness, goodwill of the company. So we have to choose more importance for giving borrowed funds, sometimes borrowed funds, and depending upon the situation, we have to choose. But never choose such a source which will lose the credit worthiness of the company. And the next point is the flexibility and easiness in collecting funds from the source. So depending upon the flexibility and easiness to collect the funds without any more legal formalities. Normally, people will go to collect funds by choosing the method which have limited legal formalities, and we have to choose the source of funds by by giving consideration to the point tax benefit also. So every time, sometimes some sources have tax exemption. We can choose that type of methods for raising funds. So these all are the points regarding what are the factors affecting while choosing a source of funds. remember all the points and recall our very concept in this chapter, sources of business finance. So thank you for watching all the videos from this lesson. We will meet in the next chapter, small business. Before that, we just develop all the concept, such concept regarding all these areas from the chapter, sources of business finance. And thanks for watching my video. Please share with your friends and watch the video again and again for developing your own concepts. Thank you.